I am Frederick Foss, retired Army, Philippine Scouts, contingent part of the regular Army of the United States.
I am Dr. Alan Witt. This documentary is about the Japanese occupation of the Philippine Islands during World War II from 1941 to 1945, and the Philippine Scouts trained by the United States Army. The Japanese invaded the Philippines almost immediately after they bombed Pearl Harbor in December 1941, eventually pushing the American Army and Philippine Scouts toward Bataan and Corregidor. Were the civilians evacuated into Bataan? Was that the issue? They were coming from other parts of the Philippines to Bataan?
Yes, from the south and from the north.
I see. Okay.
That's why it was, sometimes they were caught in a crossfire. I remember a wild hog. I shouldn't mention this, but a wild hog was hit at a crossfire, and it changes the direction of the line, the main line resistance, because the hog was running around, and we had to follow it. We didn't eat beef for a long time.
Oh, so you were interested in getting that?
And we were fighting without food, without any water, because it's everywhere you find dead bodies.
I understand the Japanese tried to break through the lines many times.
14 times.
I know you. How long was it you were able to hold out against the Japanese?
Up to now, April 9th.
That was about how long?
5 years, 5 months.
5 months.
Without food, without water, without support. I could have been dead a long time ago. We engaged with the enemy, and fierce fighting.
Was it hand-to-hand combat?
Yes. I survived from starving because I know how to eat the poisonous roots.
You mentioned the bonsai charges. Did you witness those? What were they like?
The bonsai charge, I was in a command post of a company, F company, where we were attached for ration.
Did you know the attacks were coming? Did they blow bugles or anything like that to indicate that?
They sneaked towards the rear, and the name of the sergeant is a friend of mine. I play basketball with him. Ed Pozo. Ed Pozo is the name, and he was in charge of the machine gun company of the section, not company, section. He used his pistol, because there were issued pistols, and he killed seven men. But there was an officer who was able to sneak at the back and move towards the sergeant, who was firing his pistol, killing the Japanese. And the samurai sword held by Nancom severed the right arm of the
defender,
my friend of mine, and he of course the pistol fell, and he picked up with his left hand, and then he killed this enemy.
Did he survive the entire war? Did he survive? Did he
No,
live?
he was the sergeant who,
Yeah.
he died because of the loss of blood. Now,
What was when when the Japanese finally overcame the resistance? What happened at that point?
Oh, the first assault, several more, and they led when the Japanese cannot penetrate the line of the scouts, they swung to the westward towards Subic. Colonel Galbraith was the one commanding the 24th Regiment, Artillery Regiment, regimental strength. And his guns slaughtered them. If I say 50% of the people who were trying to sneak in were eliminated.
Really? How heavy were the casualties around you?
I should say 1,000 plus,
Really?
1,400. Yamashita has to wait for the reinforcements from Malaysia.
Was Yamashita the person who was in the general?
General Yamashita.
Okay. He was in charge of the Japanese forces.
In charge, yes. We lost 200 men in the 2nd Battalion. When we got the hog that was caught on the crossfire, they cooked them. We thought we were going to have a heavy meat dinner, but no, it was full of lead all the time. Every inch of meat there is lead.
How did you get involved in the Bataan Death March?
I was separated when there were an exodus of civilians in our line. And I ended up at the collection station because I had hemorrhoids. It was bleeding. It's irritated during the march and the fighting.
Right.
And it was bloody. Blood coming out. And I found a collecting station. Those wounded are treated there. Right. I had a bag of 1 can of carnation milk. That was it. And it was getting heavier and heavier. So when I saw some people, some friends of mine, I invited them, but we have no spoon.
Just a can of milk is all you had?
Yes. There and early in the morning, I was cooking my coffee, heating that water, and all of a sudden I saw a profile of my cousin, Colonel Acosta, a West Point Philippine Military Academy graduate. Yeah. I approached him, and true enough, it was my cousin. And I practically carried him.
Really?
Because of they bayonet you if you don't move up to up to San Fernando. We took the train. Those boxcars are hot.
They load you on a train?
Inside the train in the month of April. It's the hottest month of the year. And we survived.
No food? No water? How long did the march take? How many days?
That depends upon your speed.
How about for you?
I think that all in all, I walked that far about 4.5 days.
65 miles.
65 miles.